Okay, that little bong says the meeting is now streaming live on custom live streaming service. My name is Graham Hooper from Tri Coaching Partnership. This is one of our trainers, Stephen Brown. Stephen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself. Right. I'm in Boston, UK, because that does get confused with Massachusetts. So we're on the outskirts of Lincolnshire in the Wash. I've been living here and I've been a driving instructor here for the last 35 years.
35 years.
I know. Should be getting used to it by now, but you know. I set up my own business, driving school, back in July 1985. Before that, what did I do? I worked for Barclays Bank for 6 years. Got moved around a bit. Started all right, but it was a totally underwhelming career, Barclays Bank. Yeah, didn't like it. The further up the scale you go, the more you've just become a form filler. So I'm more of a people person. So, and I've been running my own driving school. I've had other instructors join me. I'll talk about that probably later on, but I've got 2 other instructors who work for me at the moment.
Okay, brilliant.
Instructor training as well, through you good guys.
Yep. You do Tri Coaching instructor training. Okay, so you've been in ADI 35 years. What sort of well, actually, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to ask that question. You've been in ADI 35 years, but tell me a little bit about you, Stephen, outside the ADI industry. I'll come back to the ADI industry in a little bit, but just tell me a little bit about yourself outside that.
Getting the driving school stuff. Right. Volunteer work. I seem to do an awful lot of that, and it's not that I don't like it or anything. I was a chair of governors for a primary school for a good 8 years. It was a very interesting experience. As soon as our school went into special measures, it was scary. Had me an Ofsted round your neck. So I'm also chairman of a children's centre. We've got just down the road from where I live. It's voluntary work. I'm chairman of that. We're going through a bit of a rocky time at the minute because of all what's going on.
Yep.
Taking what children. I'm also a volunteer director at our local theatre. It's called Blackfriars in Boston, and I sell ice creams in intervals of shows.
Okay. Do you wear a penny?
Yes, I do, and a straw hat, and I have lights around my tray, and I entertain during the intervals. I like to, bit of banter. Yeah. Okay. Meet and greet at the door, involved with marketing. I'm a director, part of that. We're all voluntary. Also, we don't get paid for it, and it's fascinating, the show business world. It's only small time, but
okay.
You
had any? Sorry, I just want to interrupt there. Have you had any starring roles at the theatre?
Oh well, yeah, that's the other side. So Boston Operatics Musical Theatre, we call it. So I've been in about 15 shows, I should think. We're amateurs, and we put on 2 shows a year, 8 shows per time, and it's been good fun. It's scary stuff when you first start doing it, but it's good.
What's been your favourite performance?
I know what you're digging at.
I mean, I know, but I want to know what yours is. It might be. I know what mine is.
I've got to agree. It was April 2018, I think it was. Now we did the Full Monty. We raised money for prostate cancer, and I was one of the guys who took our clothes off. I was obviously cast in the correct role as horse. Yeah,
of course.
Goes without saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my biggest role, and it was brilliant rehearsal.
I love the pun. That was my biggest role.
Yeah, didn't mean that, but taking your clothes off in front of 1,200 people is, it's interesting. We raised 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, which always amazes me about you, because if you were to take you through an exam, you go, I don't really want to do that. But to get your kit off in front of 1,200 people, that's okay.
Yeah, but you're in control. When you're on stage, you're in control. You're out of character. You're in your own new little character. And you have to, and what else do I do? Talks. Yeah, it's something I've developed over the last couple of years. I gave a talk to a Women's Institute just off the cuff 3 years ago, and it's developed. It's really, I just, getting booking. I've had 5 bookings cancelled in June because of COVID.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm traveling around the area, giving talks and getting free dinners, and it's great. That's what I do.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. I love all that side of you. I think it's. I really think it's fantastic. So let's have a look at let's come back to the boring stuff then, the ADI side of it. Yeah. What have you done in terms of career development in that 35 years? For a start, it was just getting my feet on the ground. I didn't go when I qualified, I didn't go to another driving school. I just did it on my own in 1985. I just never crossed my mind about going to another driving school or franchise. I just thought, I'm a driving instructor. Here we go. Adverts in the local newspaper, as it was then. Yeah.
I think the next step on was I was getting so darn busy. I saw other driving schools in other towns, not my town in Boston, but I thought they had other driving instructors. There were several schools. The guy I trained with in Peterborough, he had other cars. I thought perhaps I could do that. So that was a big step for me, really. I trained somebody up to be a driving instructor. That's the old Part 3 ways, by the way. And she qualified. She worked for me for a while, then moved on, and then it's just rolling that on. Actually, people have come and gone. Say I did have 5 at one time, but that's dropped down to 2 now, which is fine. I don't mind. I can cope. So getting stale after a while, I realised I wasn't enjoying it so much. It was getting a bit dull, routine, getting a bit stressed about it. So long association eventually with John Farland from Smart Driving, who I know you know very well, and through him, went on different courses with him in Buxton. And then your name cropped up with Try Coaching, and took the plunge to did the BTEC 4. Fantastic. That was when would that be? 2013.
Blimey.
Course 10, I think it was Milton Keynes.
Cool. Milton Keynes. Yep. Newport Pagnell. We're still in Milton Keynes, but not in the same venue. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was Newport Pagnell, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah.
No, it was, but they're virtually
near Milton Keynes.
The same place.
Yeah, that's right. Instructor training. Yeah, getting into that. It's very slow. I'm not perhaps as excited about that as I could be or as I should be, but I like to keep it going. Yeah. Okay.
Good. So, you did instructor. Are you currently audit registered?
Well, yeah, that's right. You kept pushing me, and I did it. I surprised myself.
I'm a bastard like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but thanks for doing that. It wasn't a particularly nice experience, but I got it. I passed it.
Good.
Got a lot of weird feedback, but hey, we're just waiting for the next time, I suppose, whenever that may not happen.
Yeah, I don't know where mine will be. I'm well overdue. For my audit now. But we will just have to wait and see. The badge will stay good, I suppose, as long as they can't. They've got to retest us. I think I might have to apply for it.
Does driver metrics work for you? I think it's only about 4 or 5. It's not a massive industry around here. There's just all farms, and there's not a lot of big stuff at all, really. So it's not a lot of that, but I could do it if I needed to.
No, that's good. Yeah, fleet trained. You like fleet work with us with driver metrics. So that's 35 years. You've developed yourself in different areas. You've got a small school. You do instructor training. You do a little bit of fleet. Obviously, I would presume your main work is learners.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, that's what I love most. I love young people, and most of them are brilliant. Their outlook on life, their intelligence, and their confidence. It's amazing. I love them. Yeah. Some of them a bit challenging, but there we go.
Yeah, well, look, we learn from the challenging ones. That's the way I always look at the challenging ones. I always think, okay, these are educational for me. The challenging ones. The ones that are easy don't actually teach me much. The ones who are challenging, you go, whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
and that,
good way of looking at it. Yeah.
And they're excellent for developing your skills, I think, because you can't do, you know, it's, you find, hang on a minute, there's another barrier to learning, there's another barrier to learning, there's another, and that develops your skill in unlocking those barriers.
Yes.
Talking about unlocking barriers, how would you describe your training style?
Fairly laid back. I know a bit of free, what's the word? Free flowing. That makes sense. Sort of going where the pupil wants to go, not geographically, but just if they're taking me down a particular avenue, and go with it. I'm not rigid in any particular way, but it's nice to have structure in some respects. You've got to, obviously, but I would say keeping it real, being down to earth and honest about how the job is. Really, keeping it fun as best I can. Using a sense of humour is so important.
Yes, and it's a skill, that sense of humour.
As long as you click with the other guy or girl.
Yeah, no, that's good. Have you got any goals over this next year then?
Well, in the situation we're in at the moment, it's just getting back on our feet, really. It's just, I'm okay financially. I can struggle through to, I think, when we're getting back again. I've got a bit of a waiting list building up already. So people are ringing in. Good. Not PDIs, but that's going to be interesting, I reckon, to see what the fallout was this, whether this creates more work for us as instructor trainers for PDIs.
Yeah, no, I don't know the answer to that, but I am thinking that actually more people will want to become driving instructors because of the fallout. You know, traditionally wise, it's open when there's a lot of unemployment. This has been one of the jobs where people have turned to, especially if they needed to supplement their income. You know, had some money but wanted some money as well.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? If we're going into recession, you know, have people really got the money?
I think we can't go into any more of a recession than what we're currently in, are we? Yeah.
It couldn't get much worse at the moment. But in terms of describing my training style, just keeping it real, being helpful. Treating them how I'd like to be treated myself.
I think that's fundamental.
They're individuals.
Yeah, no, they are. They absolutely, and it's that relationship, isn't it, Stephen, between you and that individual, which is so important. What inspires you? What and it doesn't have to be within the industry, can outside the industry, but what sort of things inspire you?
Seeing other people doing well at their jobs. It doesn't have to be our job. But seeing surgeons and actors and dancers and people like that who are just so good at their job, thinking, wow, if they can do that so well, then I can do my side. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, say that?
Role models, I would think I was saying there.
Role models. Have you got any you'd like to name? Apart from me, of course.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, no, that would be good. And your partner in crime, Susan, Di, they're brilliant people. Yeah, just fantastic to listen to and get into and listen to their minds working as to how they coach. And different angles at the same thing. It's brilliant.
Actually, let's talk about coaching because you have an interest in coaching. Where did your coaching journey begin?
I suppose it would be with John Farlam back in driving days. God knows how long that would be. Anyway, late 80s, I would imagine. It was just picking things up off the internet and seeing how passionate people like you and John Farlam and Susan McCormack are in how the brain ticks, how people learn, and relating that to road safety and being able to drive a car.
Yeah.
So that's how. Looking back, I think even before then, I'm trying hard not to blow my own trumpet now, but I could see I had coaching techniques in me, particularly scaling. I thought, I do this anyway. And it was working then. And then now you validated it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
And I think it's fine to blow your own trumpet from time to time, Stephen. You know, and I know that's something that's you're not always comfortable with.
No, I'm not. But you have to in business, don't you? You have to be able to sort of believe in yourself. Listen to me, believe in yourself, and that you are on the top of your game as best you can be.
Yeah. I mean, 35 years in ADI. I mean, I should imagine you might have a couple of good qualities of being a driving instructor by now. You know, one or two. You like to think that, you know, every day's still a learning day, but I would imagine you picked a good few stuff up along the way.
In business terms, it's just that I'm proud of the fact that we've got through 3 or 4 recessions.
Yeah.
I mean, and trying to treat those are the normal times. When it goes mad and ballistic and berserk, those are the unusual times. Look at it that way round, rather than being doom and gloom about recessions. So, you know, we're heading for normal. We're in normal times, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Look, you know, 35 years. I mean, how many recessions have you been through? I mean, 3, 4 recessions, I would have thought.
Things like it, yeah. I can't remember. I can't
remember. But we've suffered a fair few.
Yeah. Every 10 or 11 years, so we're due for one now anyway. So.
Yeah, and we survive and get by.
Yeah. It's panicky at the time. You hear the word recession on the BBC News. You think, oh my God, not again. But hey, we're still here.
Okay. I know you've done our trainer course and, try coaching instructor training. How does the ticket course differ from conventional training, in your opinion?
It's something I looked into and researching on the internet, lots of different companies. And the try coaching one is holistic. Yeah. I mean, in my day, it was part 1, shove that out of the way, forget it. Part 2, anyway, but we all know that now is wrong. So with try coaching, the way your your course is designed, it just all comes together somehow. Don't know how it's done, but it's magic, I reckon. Yeah. So that's what I like about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's got a structure to it. The videos, that sort of thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I think Susan McCormack put this together, and she put together a great course that matches the DVSA National Driver Rider Training Standards, and that's the key and fundamental thing. So I suppose in this career you've had, I suppose this is a double-edged question, really, because it can be outside the career, but I'd like both answered, really. What are you most proud of inside the driving instructor industry and outside the driving instructor industry? What makes you proud?
Well, getting through recessions is one of them, obviously, being business-wise, and having the guts to take on other instructors, because it's in my little sleepy little town in the edge of Lincolnshire on the corner of the Wash. It's just remote, and I'm proud of the fact that I, for the last 20 years or so, been one of the largest independent driving schools in my little town. Nobody else has dared do it, thinks I'm brave. Oh, it's all right for you. Well, hang on a minute, I did it. Yeah. So
well done, you.
And it's not a very what's the word, affluent area. It's low skill land work. So I think in the circumstances, I think in business wise, I've done pretty well to get where I've got to, and I'm still here.
Okay, congratulations. Well done. What about outside the industry? What are you most proud of outside the industry?
Well, going back to what we were saying earlier, just having the guts again to just something I never thought I would do, and that is go on stage, sing solos, dance, act. Before I've seemed to have this knack for comedy acting. I don't know where that comes from, but I seem to get those roles because he can do it. Stephen will do that. Fine, that's okay, but I love it. It's just something I mean, standing on the side of the stage before you just go on, you really think wish you weren't there. But what the hell am I doing this for? But when you get going and the the audience appraisal at the end is, it's a wonderful.
Yeah, I've got to say, I feel a little bit jealous. Yeah. Yeah, I think I could qualify in acting the fool.
Don't forget the slog. It's the slog, though, at the beginning before you actually get on stage. Rehearsals, 2 nights every week for 4 hours every night, learning your lines, making it up, for 6 months before you actually hit the stage.
There is always that underlying hard graft to everything that we do that has success in it. Nothing happens. We live in this world where everyone seems to expect instant success, but actually, it's just hard graft.
Yeah, that's right. It takes years to compete an overnight success, as you say there. Yeah. What else? Can I go on, or
you go on? You carry on.
Family-wise, we adopted a little baby boy, and that threw up loads of issues in my life earlier on. He developed severe behavioural issues. Very challenging, quite violent, I'm afraid. But putting a positive spin on that, he's got through it. He's not sort of, but I've met so many different people in my life that I wouldn't have otherwise. And this is going to sound possibly a bit weird, but police, social workers, judges, prison officers, solicitors, all those sort of people, which it opens your eyes to what's outside my world.
No, absolutely, and I can see that because it gives you all those experiences, doesn't it? Because we are a little bit boxed in, and we don't see the big world because we don't get involved in it. We don't see the bigger picture.
But I was forced to. I had to, and it's just the way it happened. But we got through it, and it was something I suppose I'm proud of, really, in a weird way. Okay,
give me three positive character traits that you have. You can give me more if you want, but I'll take 3.
Yeah, I would. My sense of loyalty. I'm very loyal to people. When I've been with these volunteer organisations for years, and I just don't back away from it. I keep that going and going and going. Respect, giving respect to people. Yeah, and my sense of humour.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Empathy. Oh, that's another one. I think in this job you have to be, and I hope I'm surely I must be, but it's empathy, being able to empathise with whoever you're with. Again, talking about work with my learners, PDIs, my son. You've just got to put yourself in their shoes.
Absolutely, the ability to walk in somebody else's shoes,
see the world from their angle, from their side.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose. Let me ask you this: what's impacted you most in your career? How has it done it?
Yeah. Sorry, could you say that again?
What's impacted you most in your career, and I suppose what has been the impact of that?
Career, I would say, again, it's going back to BTEC 4, really.
Okay.
Thinking about that, the way that opened my eyes, meeting other instructors from all over the country, Scotland, Dover, Truro, me in little old Boston, all meeting and realizing that we're all in the same boat. We've all got a lot to learn. We've all got the same experiences. We can all learn from each other. And because, I think we said earlier, you can just you're in your own little metal box, driving around the same little streets all day, day in, day out, and it's nice to get out of town.
Absolutely, and I think you're absolutely right. The benefit, I think, the biggest benefit, one of the biggest benefits of doing a course is meeting other people. That is so big for us, and just listening to them, whether they agree with us or disagree with us, it really opens up our mind.
It bothers me when you meet other instructors in the test centre. They've they don't seem to be going anywhere. Worries me that. I could see that's where I was.
Okay.
They passed their part 3. They set up their own driving school. They're just coasting, for want of a better pun.
Are they happy, or
or getting like I was, stale and fed up and thinking perhaps it's time for a career change? Well, going into try coaching and doing the BTEC 4 it opens your eyes and does give you another outlook on the same job.
Yeah, but I think I agree with you, because I asked this question, are they happy? And then I remember my experiences sitting in test centres, which I don't do very often now with other driving instructors. And are they happy? And I suppose making a judgment call, no, they didn't seem to be.
No. We've got a good band of instructors around here. We get on, the examiners are brilliant. We are.
Excuse me. I think, I'm going to be in trouble.
It's all right. I'll keep talking. There are one or two instructors who, you think, I just don't know how you manage it. Just don't know how you manage to stay in business, and their outlook on the way the examiners do things, and everything's unfair. But hey, it isn't.
Okay,
you make your own luck.
Before my hay fever gets the better of me, the big question, everyone has had to face this question. It is the tough one. Yeah. If I live this long, how do you think I rate as an interviewer? And he's frozen. His internet's gone down.
Yeah, you've come back.
I've come back. Maybe it was my internet what's gone down. Yeah, I froze. Yeah.
Hello.
Did you get that question? The big question. How do you think? This is it. Well, that's probably why it froze.
That's right.
The question was, how do you think I rate as an interviewer?
Make it easy, won't you? I think you're a good listener. I mean, I know that's part of our job, and you've obviously done a lot of research into good listening skills, but and you've obviously listened to other people. You've done your research on what makes a good question, and what questions bring out the best in people, helps them to shine. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll move on. That's good enough for me. That's brilliant. What kind of car do you drive?
Well, I'm a Volkswagen man. I'm on about my 14th Volkswagen Polo. I've got two identical ones sitting on the drive at the moment. One's my spare driving school car, same colour as my actual driving school car.
Okay, I'll get confused when I went out in the morning. I'd be trying to drive off in the wrong one.
One's got decals and one hasn't, but anyway, yeah, I just always like to have a backup, again, for business reasons. If one dies on me, then at least I've got that other one there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?
I've always wanted to be on a cruise liner in the Mediterranean or on the Amalfi Coast. That would be nice. Yeah.
Where's that? On what coast?
The Amalfi Coast.
Okay. For the ignorant, where is it?
Don't. It's on the north-west side of Italy, in the Mediterranean. Yeah, absolutely stunning views. Yeah, I went on holiday there once, and you go on one of those day trip things. But hey, I want more time there. That's brilliant. It's beautiful. Yeah,
sounds either good that to me.
Or Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, not much difference then.
No, but being more realistic, Yorkshire.
Okay. Yep, and it's not so far to go.
No, 100 miles up the road.
What was the last book you read?
Oh, well, one I'm reading at the moment. It's called. It's an educational one, actually. It's called Drive, but it's not about driving. It's motivation. It's all about not using carrots and sticks to motivate people to do, but to use what makes them tick, their intrinsic motivation.
Intrinsic motivation.
Yeah, which is very much down our job line, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant book.
So,
Brilliant book.
Okay, I might have a look at that. I might have a little Google.
By a guy called Daniel Pink. I think it's a big. It's a book.
I'm going to write this down. Yeah, I've heard of Daniel Pink.
Daniel Pink. Yeah, something to do with. Anyway, it's called Drive. The truth about what motivates us. Yeah, it's kind of good read.
Thank you. Being an actor,
lovely.
What's the best movie / box set you've seen in the last year?
Oh, can I change the question? Because I don't do movies and I don't do box sets. I just don't think I have the time. Well, all right. The last show I went to see, would be Milton Keynes, actually. Kinky Boots.
Okay, cool.
Bit of a weird one, but that doesn't matter. What the subject matter doesn't matter. I'm interested in the lighting, the sets, the staging, the orchestra, the actors, the timings, the sound. It's just an awe-inspiring experience. Yeah. So brilliant. Yeah, Kinky Boots.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think the last play I saw was One Man, Two Governors.
Oh yeah. That's been streamed recently on iPlayer, I think. Really, that's good. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah, I haven't seen Kinky Boots. My better half has seen Kinky Boots, but I haven't.
Very funny. Very funny.
Okay, what would you do if you won the lottery?
Well, I'd make sure my son and my daughter and we were all financially secure. Okay, I think that's a given, really, isn't it? We'd all do that, sure. Yeah. From the voluntary side, I would. My local theatre that I keep banging on about is, it's in an old building. It really, and I mean, 13th century building. It's an old, it's an old monkery, as we call it, and it's seen better days in terms of plumbing. And bearing in mind, it has a lot of people go through its doors weekly. It really ought to be. It could be so much better if it had a few million thrown at it. Put it that way.
Lighting, okay, all right. So, Stephen, you get your plumbing sorted out,
and the lighting, Yeah, yes, I would. But upgrading my local theatre would be good for the community, and good for the kids.
Nice
we have an awful lot of kids.
Okay, so I'm going to excuse your children because. What is your favourite memory?
My favourite memory. So many. I mean, there's the day you're getting married. It's just never going to forget that. I can remember again going back to the stage stuff. I sound so on stage, but winning a competition in acting when I was 17 years old. Really, never thought. Just went in for this little competition and we won. Amazing. Yeah, that's the favourite. That's a good memory.
So that's interesting because is that the bit that keeps you inspired? Is the fact that winning that competition was the catalyst to a lifetime in the theatre?
I suppose it could be. Yeah, I did leave the theatre didn't be involved with it for quite a few years when I worked for Barclays Bank. But it comes back. It must be in my blood, mustn't it? Yeah. Anyway,
it's interesting because it just reminded me because when I got a grade 6, very early in my driving instructor.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It had the same. It had that effect of inspiring me.
In fact, coming back to what you've just said. 2 years ago, I got 48 out of 51 for my standards check. I just never believed that was ever possible for little old me. I just fell through the floor. I could hug and kiss everybody. Not that I could now, obviously.
But well done. Well, good. Yeah. Hugging and kissing's off the agenda now, isn't it?
I wouldn't even do it to you, Graham.
Yeah. No, I don't mind. I could be hugged and kissed. I don't care. If you were an animal, which one would you want to be?
I wouldn't want to be an animal as such. I'd want to be a bird. I could be a bird. Yeah. I've always when I was little bird watching when I lived out in the country and seemed to love barn owls. I'd love to be a barn owl. Gorgeous creatures. Yeah.
Okay, I can go with that.
I could be one. Yeah.
Okay, this is your last question. if you could choose one superhero power, what would it be and why?
Flying.
Cool.
Going back to the bird issue. What's that? I don't really do superheroes. What is there? Superman? Does he fly?
Yeah, Superman flies apparently. Yes. Yeah.
To be able to be soaring up in that sky, particularly on a lovely day like this, and looking down. Yeah, I know you can do it for gliding and all that sort of thing, but to be a bird and do that.
Yeah, lovely. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that concludes our interview. Is there anything you want to add before I close it down?
No, well, just to say thank you to you guys for inspiring us as a team. I'm not the only one. I don't know how many more there are of us there are, but you know, it's great to be part of a family team and developing, keeping us refreshed. That's it. So thanks very much for that.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from him. Thank you.
Bye.